Capricorn, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and this reading is going to be for May 8th to the 14th, 2024. And if you are new to my channel, I want to welcome you. This is a fairly new channel. I've been here for about 5 months, so pretty excited about the number of subscribers that have come forward. So if you're one of those subscribers, I also want to thank you for coming back and watching my videos. So I'm hoping they are resonating with you. You are always welcome to write some comments in just to say, hey, it's resonating, or something like that, because this is a healing channel. So sometimes I know that people don't necessarily want to talk about their healing, and that's okay too, because it's a personal journey. So what we're going to be doing today, Capricorn, is we're going to be looking at a spread called the Hermit's Lantern. And so we are going to be taking a deep dive into some inner work. And we want to look at the Hermit here for a minute, because the Hermit card is a card in the major arcana. It's an archetypal universal force that comes into our readings when it really tells us the universe wants us to take our focus off of the exterior world, because we know how many distractions are out there for us. We're busy people. And then we have, a lot of addictions and things that can really prevent us from doing some inner work. And this is what the Hermit wants here. It wants you to do. It wants you to take your focus off from that exterior world, get some stillness, ground yourself, and go into that deep dive of inner work, of inner shadow work, of looking at your shadow. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be taking a deep dive into your shadow. And in the Hermit's Lantern, we're going to start off by looking at what's coming up, first of all, from your shadow to heal, because you're going to feel something coming up, or you're sitting in a certain situation that's going to tell you that, oh, there's something coming up for me to heal here, whether it's a trigger, relationship issue, struggle you're dealing with, and you're going to recognize there's something for me to heal here. And so if you're not familiar with those two terms, shadow or shadow work, I've left a really good video that I did, and I've left it in the description box for you. And it's taken from my other channel called Carol Cares. And on that channel, I have some mental health videos for you, and journaling, grounding, how to process emotions. And so this particular video is one that I did fairly recently, and it really is a compilation of what I've learned on my own shadow work healing journey and continue to learn, and tools that I use. And I've been on my own healing journey intensively for 7 years now, and I'm working with a life coach, and I have complex trauma. So a lot of what I offer on this channel is what I've learned through my own healing journey, and through experience I'm able to read the cards a certain way. And then what I'm going to do is number 2 spot, I'm going to look at what is its origin. Where did it come from? We always have to look at where, when these patterns are showing up in our life, when we're being triggered and, struggles, we always need to look at the origin of it, because that's what we need to heal. And it's usually something from childhood, from our adolescence, when we were very young. I actually had a reading yesterday. I forget which one it was now. It might have been Virgo, but amazing reading where I actually was pulling like it could have been something from the womb and the mother's womb. And I was like, it was knocking me off my feet. I was like, what? And I just read the cards, and so, I'm wondering if it's going to resonate with some people out there. But yeah, so you need to get back to the original origin, of where this pain came from, where this hurt came from, to heal. And so we're going to do that. And then we're going to look at how it's showing up in your daily life. How is it affecting you? How is it showing up in your daily life right now? And, or even like, it's been how it's been repeating itself, maybe coming up and going away, and coming up and going away. And, you might have recognized a pattern of that. And then we're going to look at how you can heal it. How you can heal this. So we're going to ask the tarot to give us a bit of direction for you. And then I'll also provide you with just some videos, a little bit of insight of what, what I think might be good for you, based on my own experience with my own trauma. And then I want to look at how will your life change once you do the work? And that's the important thing, right? Because I can sit here and present this to you, and it might resonate with you, and then you kind of go, okay, and you put it on the shelf again, because that's what we do. Because, this is a difficult journey to be on. It's a very lonely journey, and it's a very difficult journey. And I always say it's the most difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one. So let's begin, Capricorn. I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Abyss by Tourian. And I just purchased this recently. I saw a reader using it, and I'm like, oh, I got to purchase that. And I was looking for a black and white deck, but I was waiting for a bit to purchase one. And I know this one's been out for a bit, and it just called my name, and I got it. I was very excited about it, and I was just waiting for the right reading to come out for it. And so this is the right reading. It's been doing wonders for me in this reading. And then we're going to clarify with the Radiant Rider-Waite deck for you. And yeah, so let's begin. We're going to ask for some cards, but I want one card for each section. Sometimes if more than one comes out, I have to put them back in. So I want to know what's coming up for you, Capricorn, from your shadow to heal. Okay, so let's ask for one card from the tarot here that's coming up for your shadow to heal. Okay, we'll try that again. What's coming up from Capricorn shadow to heal? The Ace of Swords comes up. And you're going to really like these drawings. Beautiful, beautiful drawings. What is its origin of this? What is the origin of this that's coming up here? The Three of Wands. Three of Wands. And how is it showing up in Capricorn's daily life? How is this? Oh, that one wanted to come out. Eight of Swords. I find that interesting when they just, some of them, the way that cards come out of the deck. Like that one was, I really wanted to keep going, and it was like, no, this one's coming out. Number 4 is how can I heal? And then you get that sometimes. So not often. The Eight of Wands comes out, and that comes right out. Okay, that's how can you heal it. In here, right here, in what's the outcome for you? Like how will your life change once you do the work, Capricorn? You see that one came out again, that Eight of Pentacles, very quickly. Okay. All right. Now let's look at some clarifiers for these cards. Clarifiers. So I'm going to pull out 1 or 2 clarifiers for each. One more shuffle here. All right, so a couple clarifiers for the Ace of Swords, please. I'm struggling to get out. Okay, we have the Six of Wands. And one more card, please. For this Ace of Swords to clarify it. And we have the Temperance card in reverse. And the Three of Wands, please. 2 cards for the Three of Wands. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So 2 aces. And the Two of Wands behind it. Number 3, the Eight of Swords. 2 cards for the Eight of Swords, please. if there's one more that wants to come out for that one. You have the Queen of Cups was your first card. I'm going to leave, let's see, I'll try one more time, and then if not, I'll just leave it, and then I'll see if I need some help with that. Oh, there it is. Okay, oh, wow, okay. The Empress, you got some feminine energy coming in here, which is nice. Definitely nice there. Eight of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and one more card for the Eight of Wands, please. The Eight of Cups. The Eight of Pentacles, please. 2 cards to clarify there. You have the Fool in reverse. And then you got 2 cards here. So we got the Knight of Swords. And, ooh, 2 Knights. The Knight of Wands back to back. That one in reverse. 2 Wands back to back. Okay. So let's begin, Capricorn, with what's coming up from your shadow to here, to heal. So you're sitting with the Ace of Swords. Very interesting. The Ace is always about a new beginning, an offer from the universe. And this particular offer is very important on this journey because she's carrying the sword. And the sword has everything to do with our authenticity. It has everything to do with who you are, who you really are. You know, because we tend to put all these masks on and go through life and driven by our ego self, and the ego loves to put these masks on. And underneath all of that, we just get really confused about who am I? And so I'm seeing here that there's this real beginning maybe for you to start to delve into, you know, there's something stirring here that wants you to really take a deep dive into your shadow, because in our shadow lies so much about ourself that we don't realize, because it is our shadow that it's our unconscious. It is that stuff that we have pushed away, shoved down, suppressed, because it's things that people told us about ourselves. But even though it's hidden from us, it has a tendency to creep up and come out into our relationships and people we meet. And sometimes we don't know why we feel like this or why we've acted like that, but it's in our shadow. And we believe that deep down that that's who we are. And it's not something we're proud of, because if people told you things when you were younger that, you know, it could be things like emotions that you weren't allowed to feel. You weren't allowed to feel anger. Well, I'm going to put that away. Somebody dumped a shitload of shame on you when you were younger and made you feel unworthy. I'm going to put that away. And so this all spews out in an ungrounded way into our relationships all the time. And that's when we just don't know who we are. I don't know why I went into that spiel, but I think it might have something to do with what's coming up here. And so this Ace of Swords is saying, you know, who are you? It's coming up now. Saying like, let's take a deep dive into this. And the Six of Wands comes up behind that. And really interesting here. You can see what's coming up now. The Six of Wands, all my sixes have a duality aspect to them, which means there are 2 sides of them. You know, when I talked about appearance, you know, on the outside. And on the outside, look at this individual here. He's coming back from battle. And it's like this victory march, right? He has this victory ride. He has this wreath above him, which signifies, you know, a victory wreath. And he's got all his followers here, these supporters, these people that, you know, hey, yeah, go. It looks great. Looks like a real victory parade going on. But there's another side to it, because it's the 6. And what this other side is, well, you can have a victory, a win, but the opposite of that is, what if we took that green blanket and pulled it? Underneath that, there's a great loss. There's a great loss. And whenever loss comes in my reading, it signifies that there is a lot of grief here that's coming up from your shadow. And because of that grief, all of us have grief from adolescence. And that is one thing that we would have hid, that maybe we weren't allowed to express for reasons of maybe not feeling safe, or just weren't allowed to. There's a lot of grief there underneath that green blanket. And because of that, that's something that we would have shoved down, and we have to put masks on, you know. Just go online. It tells you to put these happy masks on, these Hallmark masks. Don't get me on that topic, because for someone that has this amount of grief sitting behind and hidden, it's hard. And maybe you're one of those people that have just put on that happy mask, right? Everything's just good. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. And so I'm seeing here there's some grief that's coming out. And that's, you know, we all need to grieve, because that's one of the emotions that just washes over us. And just once we grieve what we've lost, it brings in, it makes room for the new to come in. And the Temperance card's sitting right behind it. And the Temperance card, when it comes to emotions, this is in reverse, but let's look at it right here. This angel is this pond of water here. Water signifies emotions. You know, emotions are just meant to flow in, and they're meant to flow out of us. But unfortunately, they get stuck in us, right? They get really stuck. And we just, this Temperance card tells us that, you know, we can feel these emotions. We can feel these emotions just a little bit at a time. And I think people feel like there's this, when it comes to grieving, there's like this huge wall that is like, I can't go near that. There's no way I can go near that. Because if I go near that wall, if I try to go near that wall of grief, I'm going to get swallowed up. But the Temperance card in reverse is, I can see here that there's a real resistance to even dipping your toe in that water and feeling just a little bit of that grief. And so this grief is seeping up again, right? Think of it as a faucet. And I was told this when I started my journey, because I had a shit ton of grief, because I have complex trauma. And so I have so much grief in there, you know, buried amongst all my memories. And I was told that, you know, think of feeling your grief as turning on the tap. Just a little bit. And if you have to, just, you know, just a little bit, like dipping your toe just a little bit and allowing a little bit of it to seep out. And when that seems too much, you just turn it off. And you try it again. And, you know, and so what's happening with your shadow here coming up is grief. A lot of grief here. And it's a new beginning for you to let's look at this and let's try to see how we can get this out. What's the original? Where'd this come from? You know, what's the original here is Three of Wands comes in. Wow, I'm just going to say that your origin here, you have 3 wands. You have the Three of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and you have the Two of Wands. You have the 1, 2, 3, and the Suit of Wands. So it's very important here that I'm going to talk about the Suit of Wands. This is the origin of your grief. The Ace of Wands is, this is what first came out here. So the Ace of Wands, I think it was like this. There. The Three of Wands. You have this gentleman here, his figure, could be, you know, I'll call them a they. This figure here that's standing here, waiting for, people like to say it's a ship to come in. But the Three of Wands is very important to know the how it works here. So the wand suit is about the direction that we want to take our life in. The wands are a very fiery suit. It's associated with the element of fire. They want to go. They want to move. They want to take your life in a different direction. They want to be creative. And when I mean creative, it's like taking your life in a new direction, doing what you want, being creative in the lifestyle that you want to live. It's just something that this individual right here is ready to go and to take their life into this direction, right? They're ready. Number 2 in this one, is the last card, but number 2 is where it's the sort of the beginning, right? It comes after the ace. And it's like this individual has realized that there's a bigger world out there. There's something out there for me. Something is out there for me. And I'm going to go and get it. And you're ready to go and get it. In the first card here, number 3, you're ready to go and get it. Right after the 3, in between these two, is the ace. The ace is the new beginning, the new offer, gift from the universe. It's in reverse. And it's like a new beginning here, a new start, right? You were ready to go, brand new offer from the universe. Something happened. Either this is from your childhood or your adolescence here. For some reason, it was a gift. And when we get a gift from the universe, we usually take it. It's a brand new gift from the universe here, right here, from the universe. Aces are all about that. And you usually take them. And it wasn't taken. Something happened where there was something that you wanted to do when you were younger. And it's a general reading here. But there was something that you were ready to do. And sometimes, because this is in your shadow, you don't necessarily remember it yourself. It's hidden. What is in our shadow is hidden in the unconscious. So you might not remember, or you may. It could go either way here. But a lot of times we don't remember. But there was something you were meant to do because the universe said, here is a gift for you. It didn't happen. And that's why you're sitting with this grief. And so there could be some regret on your part. There could be sometimes this is interesting, maybe it'll come up here. Sometimes when you have that much grief over something that you wanted to do when you're younger and you either couldn't, you were blocked from doing it, because this is when you were younger. So there could be some anger here built up because anger is a secondary emotion and anger will block that. So if you are someone that has some real ungrounded anger in you and you don't know why, you could explore that because behind that is always grief. And so we cover the anger up with cover the grief up with our anger. Now remember how I talked about at the beginning, and I don't know why that came out about how we wear masks. So we can go around being a very angry person, ungrounded, because we're hiding a lot of this grief that's sitting in our shadow. So let's see what's, I haven't looked at this yet, but we'll look. The 8 of Swords here comes up, and how is this showing up in your life? This whole, situation we talked about. The 8 of Swords comes up. Take a look at that 8 of Swords. Now the 8 of Swords is there, and the 8 of Swords is that card where she thinks she's completely trapped, tied up. She has these ribbons around her. They're very light ribbons. She just has to go like this to break through them. They're not tying her up. And these swords here that have, created this path. And it almost looks like, oh, maybe it's too dangerous to take that path. There's no way I can take that path. It's too dangerous for me now. They're on the ground. They're laying on the ground. There's nobody that has them up in the air. And so here you are sitting in this 8 of Swords position where you know, maybe you're thinking, maybe you know what this is, maybe you don't. But here you are thinking that, wish I could do that, wish I could do something, wish I could. If you do know what it is, you wish you could do it. And sometimes what happens is, you know, later on in our life, and I'm going to give you the example of me reading tarot right now. This is not something I knew I wanted to do. I bought a deck. The first reading that I have on this channel is about this. By the way, if you go to my Yellow Cardinal Tarot, and you open it up, this is my reading. I tell you how I became a tarot reader. But you know, I'm just going to say something very short about it. But I bought a deck and I threw it in the drawer years ago. And then I ended up starting to watch tarot. I didn't even know what it was, and you know, and I still and it got me in a lot of trouble. I got addicted to it and made a major decision, a life decision, watching tarot. And then it was like a little nudge saying, you know, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. I never knew I was supposed to read tarot. And one of my memories from childhood was having a deck. Somebody gave me a deck, and my parents took it away from me. That was one of my memories. And so it's kind of like this situation where, for me, this came out. This is something I wanted to do or could do when I was younger, but I wasn't allowed to. And so here's this feeling all tied up. You either know about this or you don't, but it's not something that you feel you could do or you're able to do. So I'm thinking maybe there's something very creative that you want to do right now, and you're just feeling like, I can't do this, and you don't know why. I was the same thing with tarot. I couldn't do it. I wasn't allowed to do it. That's what I kept saying. I can't do this. I can't do this. I had to journal a lot from that until I could finally get to my memory about it. So maybe this is similar in that you're feeling tied up. You can't do this, but the Queen of Cups is sitting right behind you. The Queen, and it's very interesting because remember I was struggling here to get another card out, and you ended up getting two feminine cards here. So let me talk about feminine energy. You got the Queen and the Empress. Our feminine energy, every single human on this planet has a feminine side and a masculine side. We very much are in our masculine. This is a patriarchal society that we live in. Very much masculine led, very much ego self led. That's the masculine side. The feminine side is really starting to come back because she has some beautiful qualities. And, you know, we're going to talk about some of the qualities she has here. Well, the first quality is the Queen of Cups, and she's all about emotions. She's all about feeling our emotions. She's the Queen of Cups. She's in reverse. So we're going to talk about the Queen right now. The Queen of Cups, she's not afraid. Not afraid to get back in her body, get out of her head, back in her body. You know, remove some of those masks and start to feel that grief. She would have no problem starting to feel that grief. She lives in her body. She experiences life from her body and very much into her emotions, loves emotions and expresses them. But she's in reverse here. So this part of you is very much, I think we've already established that, it's blocked. She's blocked. And when the Queen of Cups is blocked, there could be some anger. We talked about anger. There could also be depression. And so if you're feeling either of that, like this could be the Eight of Swords kind of feeling where you're feeling trapped. Maybe you're trapped in some depression, in your anger, you know, and beware that is because there's some grief sitting behind it. The Empress card again, this is a major arcana card. She is the number 3. The number 2 is the High Priestess in the major arcana. And both of those cards represent the feminine aspect to ourselves. They're archetypal forces, universal forces, and the tarot has split them into 2. And the Empress is all about the body. She represents embodiment. She lives and experiences her body. And she's all about emotions, all about emotions. And so it's interesting that you remember that I struggled to get this one out, and it was basically the same as the other one. It just reinforced that other one about emotions. So your emotions are very much bottled. I'm seeing here, you're very much bottled here, and it's almost like you said, if it's anger, you want to explode and you can't help it, and you don't know why you have all this bottled up anger. And it can, when you have this anger, that if this is you, and it covers up your grief, it just spews out on other people in an ungrounded way. And so we need to learn how to release this anger in a very grounded way. And I do that through my journaling. I'm like a rage on the page, and that's how I get my anger out when I have to. Because there's a lot of times I need to get to my grief, and I have to get angry first at the people that blocked you from doing this. Yeah. You got to get angry at the people that blocked you right here. That stopped you from whatever it is you want to do. There's something that's bottled up here, some emotions. So how can you heal this? Well, the Eight of Wands comes up here. And the Eight of Wands, this is in reverse, but we're going to look at it upright. This is a beautiful card of these geese. I like how she portrayed this card. The Eight of Wands is it comes right before the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands speaks to us about somebody that's just been through a heck of a battle, you know, trying to take their life in the direction they want to go in. And so the Eight of Wands is very much a card of movement into the direction that we want to go. And it's portrayed here by these geese that know where they're going. They're moving into like they're moving from, you know, almost like, I'm going to say, from a dangerous situation to, I mean, it's cold, and they're actually leaving the bitter cold behind them, and they're moving into a warmer area for them. And so they're taking it into a different direction, taking their life in a different direction. And so how can I heal this? Well, it's time you took your life into a different direction. And I said that Wands was about creativity and the lifestyle you want to lead. But this is in reverse here, so it's blocked. There is a resistance. It could be blocked, or it could be, I think it's more a resistance on your part to take your life into this new direction, because you're all tied up. It's like, it's either you're feeling like you can't do this, or maybe there's just some anger that has to be released before you can do this. And when I'm wanting to do anything creative, for example, start this channel, I have to work through some emotions. I need to work through some things that are sitting in my shadow. Like sometimes there's shame that's blocking me, or unworthiness that's blocking me. I got to work through it. And that's what's going to get you. That's what's going to get your geese to move in the direction that you want, is to feel that grief or that anger that's in front of it. And how can you heal this? Well, the Wheel of Fortune is, coming up here, and it wants you, it's sitting right behind this Eight of Wands. It wants to get you moving on this wheel of life again. This Wheel of Fortune is a change in circumstance. The Wheel of Fortune is always moving. It's a wheel that's all this life. Life doesn't stop. We can try to make it stop. We can try to make it stop, right? We can get all stuck and tied up, and, we can get really stuck in our emotions. The Wheel of Fortune wants you, the universe wants you to change the circumstance here. How are you going to change it? How are you going to change it? How are you going to get these geese to go in the direction you want them to go into? How are you going to go into the direction you want to go into? The last card here is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups. This individual is walking away. This individual has realized he's not walking away from his emotions. He's walking away from... He's walking to a place to get still. Because he knows he needs to go and feel all of these cups right here. Cups are emotions. And he's going to get still. He's going to ground himself. And he's going to feel that pain of that loss. And that's what the universe wants you to do. How do we get still? Well, there's a hell of a lot of distractions out there. Hell of a lot of distractions. And we need to carve some time out for ourselves. Some quiet time alone. And sit and ground ourselves. And get back into our body. Like this queen and this empress right here. That's what you need to do. You know, and feel that anger, feel that grief. So grounding and journaling is what I use all the time for myself. How will your life change once you do the work, Capricorn? Well, you have the Eight of Pentacles here. This is a beautiful card for how it's going to change. The Eight of Pentacles is the card of Pentacle. First of all, it talks about our health. It talks about our workspace. And I see this card, you know, I mean, you could think about, it could be a change in your health. But the Eight of Pentacles in the workspace is about somebody doing something, a job, something that they like to do. You know, he's doing this creative work right here, and he doesn't have this angry look on his face or a bored look on his face. Every Eight of Pentacles deck that I've seen, the person in the Eight of Pentacles always have this very content face, and they're doing something that they like to do. Your life is going to change once you work through this grief or anger or maybe depression or what it is you're going to feel. You are going to be able to do what you want to do. And that could be what you weren't allowed to do when you were younger. It's an amazing story here. I've heard it often. I can give you an example of, I was on Facebook, a couple of weeks ago, and I saw someone that I knew that I haven't seen for years, and I knew what career they had, and now they're back in a band, in a rock band, and it's kind of like, you know, you look at it and you go, wow, that person? You never imagined that person to be in a rock band. And it's kind of like, you know, maybe that's what they were supposed to do. Maybe that's what they always wanted to do, was to be in a rock band. And so here they are 60 years old in a rock band. And I'm like, wow, go for it. You know, kind of the same thing here with your situation. You are going to be able to be that fool and trust. Jump off that cliff. Right now, it's blocked. I find often in this section, a lot of cards are reversed here because you haven't done the work yet. When you do this work, you're going to be able to be that fool. You're going to be able to be that child again, childlike innocence. And just going to be able to trust that the universe has your back, and you're going to jump off that cliff and you're going to go for it. You're going to go for whatever it was you wanted to do when you were younger. Right now, there's a resistance still to going for it, and understandable, right? We have to work through something. The Knight of Swords and these two came out together, and they're both knights. Now, your reading could not have ended better for you. Knights are what I call, in my deck, my freedom fighters. They are the adolescent part of you, and we all have them in us. You know, think of an adolescent who just wanted to be free. They didn't want to be controlled by anybody. They wanted to be authentic. They wanted to be themselves. And so they wanted freedom. They wanted freedom of the wands. They wanted freedom to take their life in the direction they wanted to go to. They were fighting for purpose. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. They wanted to be in that rock band. And they wanted the sword. The sword is all about authenticity. They wanted to be themselves. That's all they wanted to be. You have this Knight in reverse. That tells me that's the creative one. That's the one that takes their life in the new direction. And it's in reverse here. When you tell an adolescent, no, you can't do that. Think about what they do. They get angry. They get angry. And really, what they want to do is cry. They really want to cry, but they get angry instead. You want freedom. And this is how your life is going to change. It's going to give you the freedom that you've been wanting to taste, that you've been tasting, but you want it so badly. Freedom from this, tied up. Oh, Capricorn, the freedom is here for you. It's all here. You just got to get at that grief. So, couple things I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you some videos on, I think I have 1 or 2 on grief. And then I have something on an anger playlist that I'm also going to give you. I think there is some anger here because your Knight was in reverse. So some of you may be blocking if you're one of those people that hold some anger and it comes out in ungrounded ways, you definitely have some anger to deal with because underneath that is grief. So Capricorn, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is not an easy journey, but it's the most important one. And so take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye-bye.